Hello and welcome to today's live. I'm going to be talking about 3 ways to build in your audience, and it's a really good topic. It's a juicy topic that I think will be useful to everyone. So I am just going to take a minute to see if anyone joins me. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you're watching from. Okay. So it's been a busy week. I went down to London yesterday to shoot 3 songs. So I essentially had a day. Hi, say hi. Let me know who's joining me. Just say hi in the comment. Let me know who it is. Welcome. So yeah, I was in London yesterday to record 3 songs. We did both visual and audio recordings for 3 songs, and it went beautifully. Hi, Emmanuel. How are you? So yes, it went beautifully because I'd taken the time, I'd prayed about it, but I was worried that 3 songs was a lot for a day. I took out some time and went to booked in some time with a vocal coach, Sophie Shares. She met with me on Saturday, listened to the songs and gave me tips on how to just sing it more beautifully, I suppose. And it turned out really well. I loved her tips because there were lots of high parts in the songs. And sometimes I worry that it doesn't sound as well as I want it to sound, but her tips were beautiful. So I'm really thankful that I took up that time to book in a voice training session. The band was amazing. Hi, Teresa. The band was amazing. And I think through it all, I just felt God through it all because I had been praying that I was going to have a sense of God in that room. And I felt that. So I'm just really grateful that it went beautifully. I cannot wait for you guys to hear the songs. It was amazing. Hi, Teresa. Yeah, so I'm really thankful. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Couple of songs I wrote alone, but there was one that was written by a couple of friends. So Audrey and Becca. So yeah, beautiful songs. Cannot wait for you guys to hear them. So today I wanted to talk about ways that we can start building our audience. And I think this is a really important part of what we do as artists. So if you're an artist or just an entrepreneur, you will need to have an audience that you are releasing your music to. If you are an author, you will need to have an audience that's ready to buy your products, whatever they may be. And when you're completely new, you're starting from scratch, there are multiple ways that you can start building your audience, and there are ways that you can start to cultivate the relationship and to nurture the relationship. So they are looking forward to what you are producing and they are buying from you. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about my experiences with how I've done this over the years, and I'm hoping that you will be able to get some pointers as well. on ways that you can build your audience. So you take whatever I talk about, add to your list of things that you do, and make it yours. You can tweak it. And I'll be actually really happy as well if you share any tips, so other people that are watching can also contribute, and I can also learn from you. That's going to be something that I think would help a lot of people that are watching as well. So I am just writing some ideas down as they come. I don't want to forget anything. All right. So multiple ways to build an audience. But for me, when I started initially, I remember thinking to myself that, oh, I'm working on releasing music. And I was just focused on that. And I wasn't really thinking about marketing. I think that's where many of us are. We are just focused on making sure that we can actually do the music, we can go to the studio. We are just focused on this, this tiny thing, and then we forget the big picture. And I remember attending a training then. Interesting. So someone can't find me online. I'm gonna see if I can. Just gonna reply real quick. I think what's happening is I'm streaming from StreamYard, and therefore I'm not. Okay, that is actually interesting. So this might be happening for other people too. Light bulb moment. Okay, so what's happened is that I've made an event on the group, and people are going to be notified when I go live for the event. But because I'm using StreamYard, they are not being notified that I've gone live. So learning points, everyone. If you set up an event, oh my goodness. 3 ways to start building your audience. I'm going to be going live on Facebook and StreamYard at the same time, just so people can find me. Teresa. Wow, you learn every day, honestly. Really do. Okay. So go live. Oh my goodness. Hi, everyone. I'm going to start all over again. Hi, everyone. So yeah, there's been a little bit of technical, should I say, technical light bulb moments for me. But yeah, I'm going to keep going. So yes, I was going to talk about how I started to build my audience. When I started, one of the first coaching sessions I attended was by Andy Baker here in the UK, and he was talking about how to do a crowdfunding campaign. And at that time, I was like, well, how? Please let me know who's watching so I can say hi. So I was thinking to myself, this doesn't feel right, doing a crowdfunding campaign when I don't have an audience. But he said something really beautiful. He said, actually, that was the best time for me to do a crowdfunding campaign, because people would know that I was working on music to release. And he was like, that was the best time for me to actually start building my audience. So it killed 2 birds with 1 stone, because when I started to share about how I was working on my first album and how I wanted people to give to me, or to give to the project, I was able to collect details of anyone who gave. And actually, it's actually pretty cool when you think about it, because people are going to say, oh, well done, like that, this is actually a really good endeavor you're doing, when you are able to share what you are doing and the reason why you're doing it. So at the time I was like, oh, I'm working on music to share to people. There are songs of hope that came to me during the pandemic, and I'm just hoping to encourage people with these songs. And initially you might think, oh, people wouldn't care, and people would just say, oh, you just want to collect my money or whatever. But actually, I got a lot of, that is amazing, well done. And people that gave were then happy to give their email addresses, because obviously when they give, they have to give an email address anyways. But in that way, they were happy to be given updates to about what was happening with my music, with the crowdfunding campaign. And that's how I actually started to build an audience. So, oh, thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you. So, I was it was a great experience. Now, obviously, I am the sort of person who dreams big and wants to reach for the stars. So I picked 6,000 for my first crowdfunding campaign and just past the halfway mark. But I was like, this is a huge win, because if I didn't do this, I wouldn't have even raised any money, and it would have been funded all by myself. But that way, I started to build my email list. And then people knew that AB is working on an album. So when I started to release music, they knew they were ready to receive it. So there are so many ways that you can start working on building your audience and letting them know what's happening, so they are ready to receive your product when it comes out. So I'm going to talk about 3 ways that you can start. I'm going to talk about WhatsApp. I'm going to talk about Facebook or social media, and I'm going to talk about email. Okay, so WhatsApp. And how I started WhatsApp was, again, during my crowdfunding campaign. I said I had come up with a list of people who I thought might be interested in supporting music and supporting me in my music journey. Some of them were my dad's friends. Some of them was just people I knew. So I had made a list, and I was going to text people and call people. And at some point, I just got overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, you might try to call and no one's speaking. And then you look at the long list and you're like, and then finally I was just like, I don't even care anymore. I just put all of them in a WhatsApp group together. And if you've ever done that, you know that many people leave because they're like, who's adding me to a WhatsApp group? So once I put them in a WhatsApp group, I did a video and explained why. And I was like, hi, I know some of you are like, who in the world is adding me to a WhatsApp group? But my name is AB, and maybe I got your number from this person, and I am just here to talk about my music. And I just wanted to see if this would be something you'd be interested in supporting. So that way I reached multiple people, and it was a time saver. People that left, I said, it's okay. I must have maybe text people separately, but I kept that group, and that group is still functioning today. Last week, actually, I did a private concert to them, and just invited them all to join me on YouTube for a concert, and I sang for them, and it was beautiful. It really was. I got a couple of people to pray as well for the recording that I did yesterday, so it was such a great experience. But every time I'm doing something, I'm like, oh, I need to text people, I need to call people, and the same thing happens every time. Hi, Marvin. The same thing happens every time, because I start calling, I start texting, and I give up. I'm like, I'm just gonna put the message on a WhatsApp group so people can see the message or watch the video in their own time, and it works every time. And then also, so because phones are amazing, they're always with us. They're, even when you're driving, you're not supposed to, but you still get notifications for messages. And my car can actually bring up my messages on screen for where I look at my map. So you can do all of that while driving. So sometimes I've signed up for like challenges and I get a message on my phone saying we're live. And I could be walking maybe along the corridor, walking somewhere, and I'm like, oh, let me just see, and it's real easy to just click on the link. You're not going into your email and wading through a long list of emails. It's real easy. So messaging and WhatsApp are really powerful tools. And if you're having some sort of event and you are able to send reminder messages to texts and by text to phones, people are going to be really, really able to quickly just click on the link and join you. It's a great way to remind people that something is happening. So I started my YouTube concert last Friday, and didn't have a lot of time because I normally set these appointments for like 30 minutes after bedtime. I always have like 30 minutes max to get ready to do any live stream things that I have to do. And then at the end of the day, I'm always rushing everywhere trying to get things done. I didn't have time to remind anyone, but I went on the group and said, we're live in 5 minutes. So straight away, like how many people are able to be reminded that we're live in 5 minutes, So WhatsApp groups are an amazing way to start building your audience. So that is definitely one that I would advise you to start with if you are having a product coming out soon. The next way is social media. Okay, so most of the platforms have the capability to have groups created now. So I'm currently streaming to my Facebook group, but I am also part of groups on Instagram, and I'm also part of groups. Well, I think there are many platforms now. The biggest ones will be Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So for me, Facebook is my preferred social media platform where I'm most active. And it's because I found the groups really helpful. So every time I've joined trainings or challenges, they always have groups, and you're able to see the interaction happen in the group. The people go live, people introduce themselves, people ask questions. You're able to see what people are doing. I love the engagement on Facebook. It's beautiful. So that is, for me, hands down, the best social media platform. But for many people as well, especially when it comes to businesses, I think Facebook will be the leading social media platform when it comes to groups. Facebook will be the winner there. Some people have groups on Instagram, and you can certainly post, but I've not really seen, trainings, like live trainings happening on Instagram. I think I've attended only one live training on Instagram that was well attended, but to me, Facebook is just the best. So that is my preferred choice. One thing I've learned recently, though, it's quite interesting. I love when I learn new things. So I'm like, really? You mean this was there all the while? I've learned that there's a lot of thoughts that needs to go into creating a Facebook group. You should think about even what to name your group is important, and there are ways on making sure that you are doing it right. Hi, Golden Roots. There are ways to make sure you're making it right. You can research other groups in your field and see what the successful groups are called, because it's great to just give the group a name. However, if you make the name of the group you add in key search terms or keywords that are searched a lot on Facebook, then when people search with these keywords, your group will come up. And that way you're growing your group without actually inviting people. People are actually requesting to join because they have searched for a group, it's come up. So if you just fancy a word or a phrase and name your group that, but it's not searchable, you have actually hindered your group from growing in a very organic way. So that's something to think about. Another thing that I've learned recently is have, and I think this is with all groups, have a mission, or a very clear reason that the group exists. So once people go to join the group, they know what they're there for, and that way that it already prepares them for what the group is for. So I recently joined a group, and right from the start I received what to do next. Like, it was a long posts in the group saying this is what you need to do next when you join the group. Then I also got a video from the owner of the group as well saying, hi, very great you're here, this is next steps to get the best out of the group. And I just thought, that's amazing. But actually, if you did that while creating the group, everyone that joined already knows what to expect, and the group should not be for you. It should be what's in it for them. It should be really obvious what's in it for them, because people will not just join if it was all about you. They will join a group if it's going to help them hit some kind of goal or reach some kind of goal that they've set for themselves. So that's something to think about as well. But yes, groups are also really good. And a couple of ways that I've used social media to essentially get ready to receive products that I've released is a couple of ways I've done it. Pre-saves, obviously. So when I say pre-save a song, I put it everywhere. People do, but then they know that something is coming. Another thing is artwork. So most of the times when I commission an artwork for a song, I get a couple of pictures. And even though I may know my favorite, another really great way to get engagement and to get your audience ready for something that's coming is to get them involved in the process. So you say, oh, these are the artworks that I have for my upcoming single. Which one is your preference and why? And I get a lot of response to that. It's actually really great to watch. And a lot of times, many of the choices will be the one that I'm interested in as well. There was one time that I had to change my artwork because my audience didn't agree with what I was doing. So before I started my podcast, I had picked the name, the Fulfilled Music, no, the Strategic Musicpreneur, and I had attended a training about podcasts, and they said, actually do a poll and ask your audience to pick the best name that appeals to them, and hands down the Fulfilled Musicpreneur was the one that appealed to people the most. So I actually changed my name of podcast to Fulfilled Musicpreneur, and then had to go back to the person who did my intro and outro for the podcast and said, please, can you change this as well? So there was a little bit of work. But most of the time when I get my audience involved, I end up not changing anything really, because I might have already picked the picture, but it's really just to get that involvement. So people are like, oh, I like this one. And actually sometimes really funny things have come out of people commenting on a picture. It's been funny, but that is a brilliant way to get your audience involved, by asking them to pick their best artwork. What else? I think those are the two main ones. Obviously, you can start talking about story behind the songs. You can do it by live video. You can do it in post. You can break the story down into a couple of posts and post part one and part two and part three. So there's lots of different ways that you can get people involved. So I know Karen is here, who's going to be, she's working on a book that will be hopefully out this year. So obviously you can start talking about the story behind the book, what made you want to write the book, and, start getting people excited to read this book, And I know sometimes authors will release like excerpts, they'll release like, maybe the first page of chapter 1 or chapter 2 or something, like a teaser. So that's a really good way to get people involved. All right. And the last is emails. So I think this is one that stresses people out for a variety of reasons. And it might be because there is tech involved. Whenever there's tech involved, people don't like it because it's something new you have to learn. But when it comes to running a business that is going to be profitable, email is not something you can do without. So when it comes to making sales, you essentially you can try to make sales on Instagram, you can try to make sales on Facebook, and you can do it also by email. If you have followers on Facebook, still a very tiny percentage of your followers will see your posts. Same on Instagram, and the algorithms change all the time. And what happens is people realize, oh, this is what the algorithm is doing. So they start working it, and they start giving Facebook what it wants. And then they start building their followers like that. And people are watching what they're doing, and they're gaining engagement, they're gaining traction, and all of a sudden the algorithm changes again. And then people stop seeing your posts, and you have to start all over. Or you pay. You start running ads for people to see what you're doing. Though that's what happens on social media. On email platforms, yes, some of your email might go into spam, or some people may not open your emails. However, email is still the leading cause. Should I say cause? It's still the leading platform for sales. And it's still the leading platform in showing people what you're doing. So you might say, oh gosh, 60% of people are not opening my emails, but that means 40% of people are opening your emails. That is still much more than Facebook. And in terms of making sales, it's still the leading platform for sales. I can't count the amount of times I've bought things because an email was sent to me. And you can always build interest and build desire for a product, because so they're called series. They're called marketing series for a reason, because the first email might be just telling you about the product and gushing about the product and why the product is so good, and the next one might be about why the product is good for you and what it can do for you, and the third one might be this, answering questions, or when people give excuses for why they can't buy it. Your third email might be answering all of those questions or all of those reasons before they even tell you. So essentially, you know what the 10 most important, or the 10 commonest reasons why people can't buy, and you essentially go through all the list and answer why actually this is a good idea, why you should buy this. And the fourth email might be, this is 50% off for a couple of more days, and at the end of 2 more days it goes away, or it goes back to full price. And you're essentially creating urgency, and you might send one more email saying, okay, countdown, last 24 hours. And many people end up buying at some stage. Um, Many people end up buying at the last email when you're like, okay, 6 more hours to go. That's when people are like, oh, I really want this. Okay, I'm just gonna buy. So it's called a series for a reason. It's brilliant. You can do so much by email, and I've bought over and over again by email. And yes, I still see that only small percentage of people might be opening my emails, but also there are things you can do about that. Someone put it this way. They said your email title is to get people to open the email. So there's a lot of work that actually goes into what you put in an email. If your email title says new music out now, they might not have a reason to open the email because they've seen everything about the email. This email tells me new music is out now. I'll go on Spotify and listen to it soon. That's not a priority for me right now. So a lot of work can go into the title, so it actually raises people's interest in wanting to open your emails. So that is something that I'm working on myself. Recently I saw an email and the title was "Don't open this email." And what did I do? I opened the email because I wanted to say, what in the world? While you send me an email and say, don't open this email. So lots of different things that you can do to just raise people's curiosities about email. And I think personally for me, you always need to walk a balance. There is a balance between not sending too many emails so people are like, oh, they don't feel the reason to open the email, or only sending it when you need something from them. Because sometimes I think this is what happens in our heart. Sometimes you're like, ooh, I don't want to send too many emails, or we veer to the other extreme where we only send emails when a new music is out or during a crowdfunding campaign or something. So I think when you open the email, be really clear on what you want to use the email for and tell your audience, this is what I'm going to be using the emails for. I'm not going to be spamming you and sending you emails every day. It's just going to be once in a while, and many people will appreciate that. So if you want to dig a little bit deeper on how to start building your email list, let me know. There are free options, there are paid options. Free options obviously is something that you should start with just to get yourself used to how the email platforms work. There are different email platforms. I use MailChimp. I've used it for a while. I started with a free option and I've moved to a paid option. What I will say is just sign up, open it, and just start seeing all the different things that you can do with it. You will eventually get used to you'll get used to how it functions. You'll get used to how to make it work, essentially. But you need to start playing with it yourself. And one of the best ways to start growing is to just start texting people who you already have their email addresses. So type up a text message or an email saying, look, I just wanted to tell you that I've started to release music or starting to write songs, and I'm going to be releasing some of these songs over the next couple of months, or releasing some of the songs this year. And I am building a list of people who might be interested in being notified when these songs are out. Is that something you'll be interested in? Can I add your email to my list of emails? And then they'll just say yes, and then you can just add their email to your list. And friends and family are always the first ones to go. If you actually sat down and made a list of your friends and family who you knew would support you, that might be close to 50 emails already, if not 100. So there's already a long list of people you know who would want to support you and will want to be notified when you are doing something. So that is a really good way to start. If you want a little bit more training on starting an email list, you can just comment email down in the comments, and I can either set up some time with you or send you a free training for that. All right, so this brings me to the end of the training today. I hope you've received some value. And yes, Teresa is saying she's also bought some things via email as well. Yeah, emails are good. They definitely work. Oh, hi, Charlie. Oh, my goodness. Hope you're well. So yes, I hope you've been encouraged, and I'm going to let you go now. Have a lovely rest of the week. And please let me know if this has been helpful for you at all. Take care. Bye. Hi, Charlie.